Hi, I'm Craig Grant, CEO of the Real Estate Technology Institute and RETI.us. I'd like to thank you for attending the Using Technology to Increase Your Real Estate Business 2016 webinar. And this isn't just a webinar. This is a celebration of the launch of the RETI.us website. It's going to be the premier place for realtors to go to learn about everything about technology. So in addition to having an awesome free webinar, we're going to learn a lot of information to improve your business. You'll also learn a little bit throughout this webinar about the new RETI.us website. No matter what your technology skill level is, this will be the best place for you to learn just every aspect of real estate technology at any time on any device on your schedule. We're going to have hundreds of videos, tutorials, and webinars on literally every topic you can imagine about real estate technology, including social media, marketing, video on YouTube, cloud and paperless, Google, Evernote, hardware, software and apps, technology risk management, websites and search engines, and we also worked out a partnership. We have every RPR training video in our library as well. So this is true on-demand real estate technology education on your schedule. In fact, once this webinar is over, we would love to invite you to go check out the RETI.us website. And you can even start your free 7-day trial period and start watching a lot of our free educational videos, watching the tutorials, maybe even taking part in a webinar, and really start experiencing the website yourself. As I said, it's going to be the premier and easiest way for you to learn technology in your business. Plus, we're offering a great deal during the month of January. You can get a huge discount and lock that price in for life. So in addition to this great free webinar, we're going to learn a lot of information from our 6 instructors. You're also going to get to learn a little bit about us. So you get a feel for each of the members of the RETI team, because we've really pulled together an all-star team of instructors from all around the country. We have Amy Smythe-Harris out of Texas, Alex Camile and Warren Dow out of Vermont, Juanita McDowell out of Georgia, Marky Lemons-Rowell out of Illinois, and myself, Craig Grant, out of Florida. So that's our team. You'll love our team once you start checking things out. And Juanita's going to get us kick-started with the webinar. She's going to teach you how to use hub and spoke marketing and also how to leverage video and YouTube in your business. So let's get started.
Hi, my name is Juanita McDowell with the Real Estate Technology Institute. I have 2 great tips for you today. Number 1, what is hub and spoke marketing and why should I care? It is the single most important factor that you need to understand so that you can consistently engage in social networking, which helps your business. It helps you get started. It's like YouTube. And I really want you to have a video marketing strategy for 2016. And speaking of YouTube, we're going to transition into a quick YouTube lesson. I want to give you a tip that most people don't know on YouTube that's going to save you an enormous amount of time. But let's start with hub and spoke marketing. This is the essence of your online marketing. And it's really what's going to make you or help you be found online. Here's the reality. Chances are good that your website is not going to show up on the first page. And likewise, chances are good the consumer is not going out to page 2, 3, 4, and 5 to find what they're looking for once they enter in key phrases. So the option for you as an online marketer is to set up a hub and spoke. The first step is to set up your hub. The hub is the heartbeat of your online marketing. That's why it needs to be really perfected as much as you can perfect it. The hub can include a link to a blog, or the blog can be built into the website. A few things that website actually needs to have. Number 1, as a real estate agent, you need an IDX feed. I should be able to search for homes when I go to your website. Number 2, you need to have a responsive design. It needs to be mobile friendly. 3, it would be wonderful if you had Google Analytics. Now the reason that I mentioned that at the top is because quite often people ask me to look at their website and my first question is, well, how much traffic are you getting now? And they're thinking, I don't know. It's not a guess. When you use Google Analytics, it's actually going to tell you how many unique visitors you have on a daily basis. So that's going to help you determine whether or not your social media efforts are effective. So let's say you upload a video on YouTube and your end card drives people to your website. You get to see whether or not you're actually increasing your traffic. Has there been any spike in your traffic? So you absolutely want to have Google Analytics as part of your website. And lastly, testimonials are great. Any kind of videos, video neighborhood tours would be great for videos. But we'll get to that point. But let's just understand right now, that's part of the hub and spoke marketing. So what you're doing with this model is you're creating the hub, which is your website, the center of your online marketing. It has all the branding, color, and feel of what you're trying to bring forth in the marketplace. And then each spoke that you create has a similar branding and feel. So if you do luxury homes as your core business, and that's what your website looks like, then your spokes should look like that as well and should promote that market niche. So that's pretty much the hub and spoke market that I want you to understand. And that's where you can reach out to consumers with the spokes. You're expanding your reach and you're building trust. You're building trust with the spokes. So when I find you on the spoke, if it's set up properly, then it will point people to your hub. So in the next segment of this lesson, I want to take YouTube as a unique spoke, and I want to give you 2 quick tips that will help you with, 1, making sure that the consumer, after they watch your video, will actually go to your hub. And I want to give you a quick little shortcut that most people don't know that will help you in terms of uploading videos and not having to type over and over the same thing, because you'll be able to set up basically a default template for all of your videos. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side.
Okay, to the other side, and I want to give you a YouTube tip that I really want you to tuck away. Even if you don't have a YouTube channel just yet, this is something that a lot of YouTubers don't know, and that's how to save yourself a lot of typing. Talk about efficiency. You're going to create a template. Basically, you're going to establish your defaults so that you're not typing over and over again every time you upload a video. You're going to also establish your categories, the main ones that you use, because if you're going to use those each time, then there's no reason not to establish those in your default template. So you'll start by going to youtube.com/features. You'll come down and you'll see channel. Select upload defaults, which is going to bring you to this page. If you know that most of your videos are going to be public, go ahead and select public from the drop down. If you have a certain category in which all of your videos may fall, select that category here as well. Do the same for license. I would imagine that your title should be left blank because each video is going to have a different title. But look in the description box. Remember we talked about hub and spoke marketing? This is a place that I want you to put your hub address, because remember, the purpose of this spoke, YouTube, is to drive traffic to your hub. And you can start off by putting the hub address. You can see how I have it a pipe right beside that, and then I'll start with, in this video, which is the description of the video and what the user is about to watch. Then there's a call to action encouraging the user to share the video, and also providing my contact information at the very end. You can also add tags. If there's standard tags you'll be using, say real estate, Athens, Georgia, real estate, Toledo, Ohio, then go ahead and include those tags here if your videos relate to these tags quite often. Again, comments and ratings. I strongly encourage you to allow comments, and make sure they're not just all comments, but only the approved comments, of course. So you can go forward and complete your template, and then you will be good to go. Make sure you say save, and that's going to save all of these defaults so you don't have to type them again. There are plenty other great YouTube and video marketing tutorials on the Real Estate Technology Institute, so make sure you check those out as well. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Juanita. That was some awesome information. I'm a true believer in hub and spoke marketing, and there's no question everything is going towards video these days. Up next, we have Warren Dow, and he's going to give you 5 great tips on how you can use technology marketing to improve your business in 2016.
Hi guys, Warren Dow from the Real Estate Technology Institute, here to share 5 marketing tips. Google Alerts. We need to know what people are saying about us on the web. Our brand, our reputation is so critical in today's digital environment. We need to know what's said about us, what's said about our company, what's said about our website at any given time. Go to google.com/alerts and set up notifications for your name, your company, your website, anything that might be critical to knowing what people are saying about you on the web. Number 2, make sure your website is up to date. It has to look nice. It has to be aesthetically pleasing. Your website is your resume. This is the first place that people are going to check you out. They need to know that they can trust you, and normally that means your website has to look good as well. You have to make sure real estate search is a focus. You need to make sure that it is mobile optimized, considering more people are visiting real estate websites from mobile phones than they are from computers today. And last but not least, you have to make sure that you've integrated some visual search engine optimization, meaning videos, graphics, pictures, whatever you can do to get people to feel connected to the content that you're putting out there. Number 3, online advertising is becoming more and more expensive in the real estate space. This is strictly a matter of supply and demand. More realtors are doing it, which means they're going to charge more for it. Because it's becoming more expensive, it's critical for you to understand what your marketing is doing for you and what you can do to get more out of it. First of all, set up Google alerts for your own website and also track it with Google Analytics. Google became Google for a reason. They are all about website tracking. You should also consider the same. Google Analytics is a free platform that allows you to understand where your traffic is coming from, how they're using your site, how they're working their way through it, what pages they're going to, and most importantly, where they're coming from. Make sure you set this up. The other thing that I would suggest is considering video advertising. Google believes that by 2017, over 70% of all searches are going to be video content. And considering Google owns YouTube, the possibilities are endless with how video advertisements can pop up on the web. The next thing is we have to cater to younger buyers. Generation Y, or millennials, are now the largest population buying homes. In fact, 68% of all first-time homes were bought by millennials this last year, and 32% of all home purchases were by Gen Y or millennials. This means that this is a generation we cannot ignore. They are tech savvy, they were born with the internet. Understand what they have to offer, understand how you can better connect with them. This is going to be critical to your success in 2016. And the last thing that I can suggest is be ready for change. Marketing is changing constantly, and with the advancement of technology in this space and in the world in general, technology can be your best friend. Technology is not going to replace a realtor, but a realtor with technology is going to replace one without. Especially with smart homes and Nest, NAR has heavily invested in smart technology for real estate. The one that I'm most excited about, and I think you should keep your eye on, is beacon technology. Beacon technology allows you to communicate with a Bluetooth device or near-field communication to a smartphone or a tablet just by walking by it. It's one-way communication. As you walk by a retail store, they can automatically notify you that there's a 20% discount on coats or on pants. Well, you can do the same thing with your open houses. Let them know about the newly renovated kitchen, the new cabinets, the perfect family room. This is one-way communication, and the best part is you don't need to know who they are. So those are my 5 tips for marketing in 2016. Make sure to watch the rest of our RETI videos to learn more about all the technology that you could possibly need for real estate.
Thanks, Warren. That was some great information, and the best part is a lot of those tips are practical and pretty easy to apply to your business. You can really get things up and running and humming in 2016. So why don't we take a little departure from the lessons and just watch a quick little video about reti.us so you can learn a little bit more about the site and all it has to offer. Pretty cool, huh? As I mentioned, RETI.us is going to be the premier site for you to learn real estate technology, no matter what your skill level is. Next up, we have Amy Smythe-Harris, and she's going to give you some really creative ways you can prospect for new business for pennies.
Hi, today we're going to talk about prospecting for pennies with technology. So let's start with something most agents already have access to, your MLS. Most of you already use your auto notification systems in your MLS today to notify prospects of new listings, price changes, etc. But here's another way that you can use that system. So you can set up to email you terminated and expired in the farm area you're working. Now don't forget to double check to make sure it's not been relisted and check the do not call list. Also, if you're part of like a PTA, sports team, something like that involved with your kids, or maybe you're a bunco group. So what I do is when I was involved with those is I look at each member of that group, I pull up their tax records so that I can then set up an auto search notifications for actives, pendings, and solds for the neighborhood. Then the next time I see them, I can make a comment about, hey, did you see the new listing that just came on the market in your neighborhood? Or I saw one that just sold in your neighborhood. That way it makes me a neighborhood expert for them, and it's a great way for me to subtly talk about real estate. Now another way that is great prospecting for cheap is Twitter. Twitter is an overlooked tool for prospecting. I think of Twitter as my cold calling, and Facebook as my sphere of influence farming. I post my listings out on Twitter. I also use a service that searches for keywords that are tweeted out that say, let's say Houston Homes. So when somebody tweets out that they get an automatic tweet back from me if they've done just perfect tweets like Houston Homes, Woodlands Homes, and then they auto respond to me. So more on this on the RETI website and how to set this up. Another tool that I use out there is doing boost posts on Facebook. It's a great tool if you're using your Facebook business page correctly as a spoke from your hub. Again, another RETI tool that we'll talk about on the courses. It's very inexpensive. It allows you to get more likes on your FB page, as well as to drive traffic to your website. Here's a quick demo of it, but a more lengthy explanation will be on the RETI Facebook courses. So on Facebook, if you'll see over here, I need to change, I'm as myself right now. So I need to change over to my other options of Facebook business pages. So I'm going to go over to my company, Urban Provision. And if you'll see, have you been lured to the dark side by a Girl Scout? So you'll see that we boosted this post, and you'll see we 1,634 people reached, 768 organic, 866 paid. So you'll see over here the post engagement, as well as trying to get them back to our website, and also making comments and engaging with us on our Facebook. So if I had needed to boost this post, does anyone in your family have a smart home device on their wish list? And then we would have hit boost post. You'll notice we already hit 27 people reached. And so I can go who I want to target. I can edit the audience by gender, location, age, audience, and interest. And then also when I do that, I can change the age group as well as how many times a day do I want. And then I would hit boost. So, and when I do the boost post, it would tell me, do I want a cap per day? So that's it, how to boost a post. Some final ones that I use to prospect for business is Instagram, Foursquare, Nextdoor, Facebook groups. Now, a quick tip on Foursquare is that I check into a local business near my listing. So if you don't know what Foursquare is, it is a check-in program just like Facebook Places. So I'll check in on Foursquare and I'll leave a tip with a link out to my website that has information about the listing. So anytime somebody checks in, let's say at Starbucks, and they want a mocha cafe latte, then it'll automatically pop up on their screen about, hey, if you're interested in any homes in this neighborhood, go to this link to find out more. Again, more on how to use these tools on the RETI site.
Killer stuff, Amy. You gotta love when you can learn new ways to generate business without spending a dime. And you gotta trust Amy, because she's not just a rock star instructor, she's also a top producing agent broker in the Houston area. Next up, we have Camile, and he's going to really show you just the huge boom that's going on with consumers using mobile devices and how you can capitalize it in the marketing space.
Camile here from the Real Estate Technology Institute to talk to you a little bit about the importance of mobile marketing in 2016. Now, interestingly enough, over the last year, we've seen some really amazing statistics about how people are using devices and how people are interacting with your information. The first one that strikes me is that 88% of all media interactions are screen-based, meaning 12% are left for things like magazines, newspapers, flyers, other sort of media. So that 88%, we want to start to think about how that's broken down. And the interesting point is that mobile tends to be the hinge point. Right now, 65% of searching for information and 63% of browsing the internet starts on a mobile device. Starts on a mobile device. So people are really starting how they're finding you and how they're starting to interact with you from looking you up on the web and on their phone. Now, I'd like to dispel a rumor, which happens to be that everyone thinks, people are only on their mobile device for a minute or 2 minutes, right? They're just quickly looking something up, and that's the end of it. In reality, the stats we've seen over the last year is that the average interaction on a mobile device is 16 minutes, meaning every single time I interact with my device, on average, I'm spending 16 minutes interacting with it. That's a ton of time to spend on a mobile device. Now, why is that? Oftentimes that's because people are sitting in front of the TV looking at their device at the same time doing something. Or they're at home and in bed or interacting with it in a place that's not necessarily out on the road and out getting something. Now, people that are using these mobile devices are very, very loyal to folks that have a good mobile web presence, but interestingly enough, will not recommend businesses that don't have a good mobile presence. And in fact, 57% of consumers have said that they would not recommend a business with a bad mobile presence. Now, why is that? Honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense, and here's why. Oftentimes when people are recommending you, they are out in the world. They're at lunch, they're at dinner, they're talking to somebody. Now, what's the first thing someone's going to do when you recommend them? Right? They're going to pull out their phone and look you up. That's one of the first things they're going to do. Now, if I've worked with you before and I know that you don't really have a good mobile presence, how likely am I to recommend you when the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to look you up and go, well, I can't find anything, right? So I'm not necessarily going to recommend you. Now, beyond which, we oftentimes get into the discussion of web versus apps, right? Everybody thinks, oh, I need an app. I need an app. But in reality, we've seen some amazing reporting over the last year. The National Association of Realtors, along with some other organizations, put out a report over this last year. And what they found was that 89% of consumers use mobile web at the beginning and throughout the process of finding a home. Now, that compares to 68% that use an app at the beginning and throughout the onset of looking for a home. So, a lot of times, your center point and where people are going to be going is that mobile web component. Now, last but not least, if you are going to put something in terms of mobile web in place, you need to make sure that you're tracking it. And a great way to do that is Google Analytics. Totally free service. If you want to go there, it's google.com/analytics. And a lot of times, your web developers can put this in place for you. Especially if they have a mobile component, oftentimes they're going to do this. Now, what this is going to show you is how people are actually interacting with you throughout the mobile web. And what we want to see is that people are spending a lot of time interacting with you, and they're clicking through to a lot of different pages, okay? So install Google Analytics, install that tracking, go back on either a monthly or quarterly basis, make sure you're looking at that tracking, and for most of all, make a great mobile presence for 2016. Again, this is Alex Camile from the Real Estate Technology Institute. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Alex. As always, great information, stats, and insights in your sessions. Now let's take a quick little mini detour and just learn a little bit more about our instructors. Hi, I'm Craig Grant, otherwise known as the Real Estate Tech Guru. I'm also the CEO of the Real Estate Technology Institute. And my whole motto is I teach what I call advanced technology, but instructed at a pre-K level. In other words, yeah, I'm a geek, but I try to strip all the geekiness and all the tech out of it so that the average person can understand. Because in my experience, most realtors aren't geeks. In fact, most of you don't even like technology. So everything I do is trying to make technology not only easy to learn, but also fun.
Hi, my name is Juanita McDowell with InMotion Consulting. I'm a real estate trainer who teaches technology to real estate agents in the United States and Canada. My goal is to teach you how to use technology to better market and manage your business, but do so in an efficient way. Why take 5 steps when you only need to take 2? I want technology to help you with your overall vision, your day-to-day operation, without stressing you out. Let's face it, it can be a little overwhelming at times. I look forward to sharing with you some of my favorite apps, gadgets, and tips here on the Real Estate Technology Institute website. You've come to a great place.
Hi guys, I'm Warren Dow from the Real Estate Technology Institute. I am so excited to be a part of this platform. Having owned a technology company in the real estate space for the last 6 years, I've had the opportunity to share my expertise with clients all over North America. But more importantly, I've had the opportunity to learn from my clients of what works in one market or what works in another, the technology that they're using to better engage their consumers. Now, I live in Vermont, up in the country, but as a first-time home buyer, having used this technology firsthand, I've learned a lot, and I look forward to sharing that with you and the rest of the RETI subscribers over the next couple years. Make sure to watch all of our videos, and I promise you, you will learn a lot of great information.
Hi, I'm Amy Smythe-Harris with RETI. I serve on numerous committees with Houston Association of Realtors, Texas Association of Realtors, and NAR. I also, for NAR, am the 2016 chair of the Emerging Business Information Technology Forum. I love teaching technology. I'm a national speaker. I love talking about how to brand yourself, leveraging social media to make business, as well as lots of tips, tricks, and Amy's Happy Hour. Hope you enjoy what we have here for you.
Alex Camile here. You know, having started a mobile marketing company nearly 7 years ago, it's been really interesting to see how far the real estate industry has come. From a point in which they didn't accept mobile technology to a point in which they now embrace it and use it on a daily basis to improve their business and market to their consumers, it's been wild to see how the industry has changed. Beyond which, at the same time, I've been out on the road teaching to various organizations, whether it be associations, brokerages, or even the individual agent, about general technology topics and really just how to improve your business on a day-to-day basis. Groups such as the National Association of Realtors, state associations, and even local associations have brought me in to show agents and brokerages what they can do to improve their business. That's what it really comes down to, is improving your business. So I hope you watch these videos to get some great tips on how you can improve your business, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Like I said earlier, we got a great group of instructors on the RTI team. Next up, we have Marky McDowell, and she's going to talk about how you can use Evernote to totally organize and really just turbocharge your business in 2016, and more importantly, do it all through mobile.
Hello, fellow realtors and licensed real estate professionals. My name is Marky McDowell, and I am a social media speaker. 2016 is all about productivity, getting our lives in order. Today, this mobile device has become our office, and there are a couple of tools that you can use in order to take your business with you anywhere that you go. One of my favorite applications is Evernote. Evernote is said to be a productivity tool. But as a licensed real estate professional, I look at it as being a file cabinet with all of my files. But they call them notebooks with notes. And the possibilities are out of this world. From this mobile device, I scan all business cards. And as a result, they are in my Evernote notebook. They are in my Google Contacts. And if by chance the email address that's on the business card is also associated with a LinkedIn account, I am now connected with that person via LinkedIn. But Evernote also works with additional apps. So if you connect your Evernote account to tools like Zapier or If This Then That, You can now also export all of those great contacts into your customer relationship management system. That's only one thing that you can do with Evernote. Inside of Evernote, I want you to think about being the managing broker of record. If you are, then you're managing a lot of licensees. In addition, each of your licensees, they are representing sellers and buyers, and every last one of their clients or customers likely has a customer file. Well, from Evernote, I can manage all of the paperwork that pertains to any licensee whose license I hold. In addition, every licensee can put in a file for their buyers and their clients. Now, when we think about that, we're not talking about just paper and PDF and Word documents. I want you to think about videos, photos, audio clippings, or even using if this then that to forward all of your emails to a file. It even goes deeper than that. Those little post-it notes, you got any of those sitting around your office? Well, because the search engine of Evernote is so phenomenal, I can take a picture of any post-it note and store it in your file. I can also take a note of any handwritten note and make it electronic. So from this mobile device, I get to do anything. Through Evernote, I'm connected with all of my licensees, I'm connected with all of their clients, and because of compliance issues, we now have online storage that tells us where you uploaded the file because it's GEO tag. In addition, the time that it came in because it's time stamped. And so I want you to think about the benefits of using Evernote. And the beauty is you can start using Evernote today for absolutely no money. Yes, it's free. But if you want to maximize it, of course you want to upgrade to the premium version, which is only $49.99 a year. Now, I personally am a freemium girl. I love everything free, but even I have the premium version of Evernote. 2016, we want to help you here at the Real Estate Technology Institute with all of your technology and social media needs. There's no need for you to sit back and not grow your business because you're scared. We have all of the resources here with hundreds of videos, tutorials, and how-to. But before you do anything, I want you to go and download Evernote because it can take your business to the next level. Until the next time I see you, download the free version of Evernote.
Thanks, Marky. That was some awesome information. Evernote's such a powerful program. Only problem is it's pretty confusing because it's so powerful. Great part is we have a lot of Evernote training on our site. Next up is me. I'm going to talk about how if you have a website, how to make sure it's successful, meaning it has traffic and gets you leads, and even compete on the search engines with the big boys like Zillow. Okay, so now let's talk about if you have a website, how to make sure it succeeds. In other words, it's got to have traffic and leads, and also good search engine ranking would be a bonus as well. So one of the first things you got to talk about, and Juanita did a great job explaining it earlier, is the whole hub and spoke philosophy of how you need something to be home-based for all your marketing. And a lot of us believe, the whole team believes, your website should be that home base, the hub, because your website's the only tool you have in your arsenal where it can last a long time, or so you can keep coming back for more information. One visit they want to look at properties, another visit they might want to learn some information. So your website is the best tool you have in your marketing kit to really captivate a customer for a long period of time. Because the truth is, consumers spend 13 months before they think of buying or selling before they actually do a transaction. So you need to have the home base, and the website makes the most sense for that. Okay, so that's the first thing. After we make sure that your website's your home base, your hub, the other things are when you start planning out a site, you gotta really think about the customer comes first. In other words, you don't design a site based on what you think is pretty. It's all about making sure your site is easy to use, easy to get around on, and if they want to get a hold of you, again, easy. If they want to register and create an account, it's all got to be easy. So that's one of the key things. You really got to keep things simple and plan out the site with the customer first. The next thing you got to think about is the most important part of a real estate website by far is the property search. That is the majority of what customers go looking on your net for is looking for property. So you really got to think from the start of your website, I got to turn it into a good shopping experience. In other words, not a gigantic search form with a million different features they got to fill in, Simplify your search and make it easier for them to use with just a few options, and let them play with some settings and whittle down the numbers. And another thing you definitely might want to think about doing is setting up what are called IDX Drilldown, or some people call them pre-filtered pages. In other words, it's a page already built on your website that already has listings pulling in automatically. So for example, you can set these up by property type. Don't make them fill out the big, huge search form. If they just want to look at rentals in your market, let them just look at the rentals. If they just want to look at rentals in a certain area, let them just look at the rentals in that one area. You could also do geography searches by cities, by subdivisions, by area of your market. Another big category you might want to think about, especially if you're going after the younger generational buyers, is lifestyle. Younger generational buyers, all they care about is lifestyle decisions. Short commutes to work, near downtown, certain school zones for their children. They're really lifestyle driven. So you might want to think about building lifestyle searches into your site. And a fourth category would be you could build also price conscious searches. In other words, a lot of people search by, I know I can only afford in this price range, or maybe I'm looking for a deal with a distressed property or an investment opportunity, or even just price reductions. So these are very easy to build as long as the website vendor you hire has the tools for it. But it's a key question you need to look into is, am I able to set up pages that already have listings being pulled into it? And this is not only good for the customer, where they can just click right away and go into what they're looking for without having to fill out any forms, but also the other thing it's doing is you're totally satisfying Google. Because Google can't really go to a search form, start filling in the different fields in a search, and then waiting for the results to happen. But if a page is already built and listings pull in automatically, that means Google will index and start looking at every listing on that page every single day. So in other words, if I build a page on my site with all the waterfront property pulled in, well, that means Google is seeing nonstop tons of waterfront property on my site, which really helps out for search engine ranking. That's one big key for both things, making your site better for more leads and better performance, and also search engine ranking at the same time. The next thing you got to think about after you do your search and set up these pre-built pages is whether you like it or not, you've got to do some level of registration. A lot of realtors resist putting registration on their own website. They say, I don't want to be a jerk because I don't like to register on other people's sites. Well, if you don't do registration on your site, then you're giving away your candy store. Almost all leads that real estate websites get are from the property search, the registration form. So you've got to do registration. What I always say is there's a sliding scale on how much of a jerk you're going to be. If you force people to register on their first visit, you're being a complete jerk, and people are going to leave right away because you're being too aggressive with the registration. But if you allow the person to play for a little while, let them have a couple of visits for free before you ask them to register, maybe click on a certain amount of listings before you make them register, now you're totally increasing your chance of getting leads because you're not being as much of a jerk. And at that point, the person's like, well, I've already used your site a few times, I already kind of like it, I don't want to have to start all over somewhere else. So if you let a person play for a little while, you're more likely to get more leads. So it's another key question you should be looking into when you pick a good real estate website vendor. Okay? So once we get past the property search and the registration, the other key thing you've got to really look into is, one, if you really want to think about what's called a CRM system, customer relationship management. In other words, on the back end of your website, you can have a way to track every single visitor and every lead you're getting. And not just track them, go in and make notes and follow-ups and send communications to them. It's called a CRM system. So if one vendor you're thinking about hiring doesn't even have one, that means you're going to have to go buy a separate CRM system and try to make it work with your website. Or if they have a CRM system that they say it's a separate price, that should be part of your decision as well. Okay, so really look into, do they have a good CRM system? And another piece that's huge, it's probably one of your biggest decisions these days, and a few of us have already mentioned it during this webinar, your website has to be mobile friendly. In fact, responsive design, meaning it's designed just to work on mobile, where it just kind of reformats and reshapes the site to fit on a mobile device, is what you really need to look for these days. Because it means your entire website works on a mobile device, not just a few pages. Okay, so that's kind of the holy grail of how to build websites on mobile. It's called responsive design. So if your website isn't mobile friendly, not only will it hurt your performance because customers don't want to use sites that aren't built for mobile, but more importantly, it's a huge strike against you with the search engines. Google changed the entire algorithm back in April of 2015 to put mobile-friendly sites at the front of the list and sites that aren't mobile-friendly at the back of the rankings. So it's got to be one of your key decisions when you're looking at a vendor. What will my website look like on a mobile device? And then the other big thing is when we talk about search engines, I gave you a few little hints here how to improve yourself on search engines, the pre-built pages with listings on them, making sure sites mobile friendly. But the other gigantic thing you've got to realize is you can't beat the big sites like Zillow and Realtor.com just going after the major keywords in your town. They're going to crush you when it comes to real estate Chicago, homes for sale in Miami. They're going to own those first couple pages, okay? Where you can win and where you can beat sites like Zillow and Realtor.com is very local, niche keywords they're not really paying attention to. And this isn't hard to figure out. Google has a great free tool called the Keyword Selection Tool. Easy to use. You plug in some phrases you're interested in, and then you put in your website, you put you're in real estate, and it'll generate keywords for you might want to consider using in your own website. And it'll show you for every phrase how many times those words were searched in the last 30 days, the volume, and more importantly, what the competition level is for each phrase. Because if, let's say, 1.2 million people look for homes for sale in Miami, but has a competition level of 100 out of 100, you have no chance to get on page 1 or 2. But if you see that homes by the water in the Miami area was searched by 18,000 people with a competition level 11 out of 100, you have a really good chance of showing up on page 1 or 2 and potentially getting up to 18,000 people seeing your site on page 1. So that tool is amazing to use, where you can just kind of do a little bit of research and play around and find keywords you could actually win with, ones with low competition level scores. And then the other big piece is, other than just figuring out keywords you can win, a few of us throughout this webinar have talked about video, how important video is and how everything's going towards video. In fact, I believe it was Alex who gave the stat, 70% of all searches on search engines by the year 2017, which is just a year away, will be for videos and not website. So we've really become a society that doesn't read anymore. We'd rather watch a short little video than read a page or two of text, okay? So everything's going towards video, and there's a huge area you can win with on the search engines. Zillow can't do videos in your local area the way you can. You can do videos of every community, every neighborhood, about culture of your area. You can really become a local neighborhood specialist doing videos, and that's an area they can't get you. Okay, so hopefully these tips helped you out a bunch and really make it where your website is more successful, getting more traffic and leads, and also better search engine ranking. Well, that's it for the How to Use Technology to Increase Your Real Estate Business 2016 webinar. I'd really like to thank you again for attending, and hopefully you got a lot of helpful hints and things you could use to really boost your business going forward. And as we've mentioned throughout this webinar, the RETI.us website is now live. So we'd love for you to go check it out, poke around, and maybe even start your free 7-day trial period and start taking more of our instructional videos, how to do just about everything in real estate technology. And even though the webinar is kind of ending right now, one of our instructors is here in the chat room ready to answer any questions you guys might have. So I'm going to turn it over to that. But I really want to thank you again for attending the webinar. Thank you very much.